Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine. Your host, Avi Meyer, and the greatest cameraman of all, Sonny Hersh.
Hey, Marty, thank you so much. Obviously, I didn't get there today, but I can't thank you enough. And Flora, want to tell you, we tried experimenting with your idea of situating the chairs a little different, but it wasn't going to work with this table. We're going to try it again another time. We've got new lights today. Got our 2-camera setup. Thanks so much to Sonny Hersh.
If the lights stay on, you mean?
Hopefully the lights will stay on. And thank you so much to Sonny for our 2-camera setup, our beautiful new background, our lighting, and hi to Joe Chuckshay for bringing our first guest, Alderman Bernard Stone here. Thank you so much. How you doing?
You. Doing fine.
But before we get started, I just want to let you know and everybody else know that besides for go to the website at ntnm.org, all these shows air. We're doing new shows almost every week now. So you'll see it Thursday in Chicago and Evanston, Friday in Chicago, Monday in about 35 north and northwest suburbs. Then later, Monday or Tuesday, it'll be available on YouTube. Now, I checked out the YouTube last night, and by the time this show airs, there will have been a 10,000th show watched. In the few months that we've been doing this on YouTube through ntnm.org, at this point, 9,000 and several hundred people have already watched shows, which is very cool.
That is.
So, and Sonny, thank you for all that. We really appreciate it. And by the way, our Deep Tunnel show and the Barbershop show are actually two of the best. The only person who's interviewed who's in the top 15 twice is you, by the way.
Yeah. And me?
Yeah, you.
No, Terry O'Brien. I like the one with the boots down in the deep tunnel.
That's actually my personal favorite. And it's so cool because there's actually links set up from engineering and construction libraries to go directly to that show to examine the deep tunnel, from a knowledgeable perspective. And there's other professional societies for some of the other shows too.
Yeah.
Speaking of boots and tunnels and digging and all the rest of it, there's got to be there's a lot of stuff going around out here construction-wise.
Oh yeah. Building came down north of the parking lot so that we can start. As soon as Commonwealth Edison gets the poles out of the way, the foundation's going in.
This is Devon and Rockwell?
Devon and Rockwell.
Great. I'm looking forward to that.
So the site is now clear. As soon as we get the Commonwealth Edison poles down, we're ready.
Sonny, we don't have a stopwatch. We can keep going, but just, let's keep some track of time.
Click, 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 click.
Okay. Go ahead.
Good. And there's a number of other changes coming about soon. We're getting that backfeed again on Devon Avenue, and the zoning is going to be up, I believe, in 2 weeks on the old Crawford site.
Thanks, Sonny.
The Crawford site is in for rezoning, and we already rezoned the corner of Artesian, the southwest corner of Artesian and Devon. That'll be a commercial on the grade level in 3 stories of, I believe, condominiums above, basically facing onto Artesian. You understand that as long as we have people living along Devon Avenue, that's also preventative. With people living on the street, that helps us prevent crime too.
It makes sense because the fact of the matter is that if there's people living there constantly, that's not deserted, it's not vacant.
That's right.
And not only that, but it's going to add shoppers to Devon in the area.
Yeah.
And plus, we do have a camera also, Devon and
Rockwell.
And Devon and Bell also.
Devon and Bell.
Yeah.
What people have to understand is that all the older apartment buildings have no provision for parking. The newer buildings will all have at least one parking space for every unit of living space. And the older buildings have no arrangement for parking, but the newer buildings all have at least one parking space per unit.
Well, that'll help, plus that new garage, which I think is
Yes.
it's long overdue.
It adds 230 parking spaces.
Yeah, unlike the false information that's been spread for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I do mean false information, okay? By the way, Sonny, any idea how long we might have been on before? Okay, so we're going to guess that we got 25 minutes of stopwatch time here to go.
Okay.
So there's now you've got, so where you said last time where the Crawfords was, that big hole at
that's commercial on the grade level.
Yeah.
And I believe 4 stories of apartments above. I'm not sure.
4 stories of apartments above. And in terms of any developments on Western Avenue between Pratt and Lutton right now, or?
Well, there's a building going up that I had nothing to do with. There was no rezoning on that. That's on the northeast corner of Morris and Western. We did rezone the southeast corner. That's a similar building than the one that's going up, and that's again commercial with apartments above.
And that's pretty much the new trend in how buildings are being built.
Basically, that along most of the commercial streets, no matter whether it be on Western as you go further south, or like on Lincoln and most of the commercial streets, that's basically what you'll find.
And I see that south, not just in this neighborhood, but in other neighborhoods also. That seems to be a citywide trend. Whether
you go along Clybourne or Western or any of the major streets, you'll find that's the style of building along most of the major streets. If you go further east along any of our major streets, you'll find this.
And you know what? In the beginning, I was worried about density and all the rest of it, but that's pretty much the way it is. If people are going to build, that's how they want to build.
That's correct. The problem is that we've had a holdback on some of the construction because, quite frankly, the market has fallen off quite a bit. It's one of the reasons that we run into a little bit of a housing slump, which has hurt our projections on our city budget for 2008. I'm sure you're aware of the fact that on our preliminary budget estimates, the mayor's people have announced that we have a shortfall of some $217 million. And I believe that they were leading up to perhaps an intention of asking for a tax increase, which I will absolutely oppose, because there are a lot of innovative ways that we can raise money without a tax increase.
Okay, that sounds interesting, and I like the idea of taxes not being raised.
Oh, well, everybody should like that. First of all, there's so many ways that this city can raise funds without putting additional raises on homeowners and people who really can't afford an additional raise. And let's not forget that this was the year that the properties were reassessed, and on the second bill of the year, which you're going to receive and I'm going to receive in September, that the properties were reassessed, and undoubtedly the bills are going to be increased, and some of those bills are going to be increased substantially without increasing the tax rate. So if people are going to be hit with an increase in real estate taxes, why should we be hitting them with additional taxes on other things? I recently appeared on Chicago Tonight, and I gave a number of suggestions for raising revenues without hitting homeowners or hitting the normal ways in which people in government usually go after the smaller wage earners. let me give you some examples, for instance. The city has millions and millions of dollars worth of land that it has in its inventory. In fact, the inventory is so large, the city doesn't know how much land it owns. I doubt very much if there's anybody in the city that knows exactly what property we actually own. One of the things that they'd have to do if they wanted to go ahead with what I'm going to suggest is inventory all the property that the city actually owns. But over the last 30 to 40 years, the city has acquired a great deal of land. And, you know, anybody who's in government knows that people always come and whisper in your ear, listen, you're in government, tell me how I can get a good deal on buying land from the city. And there isn't anybody who's in government that hasn't had somebody whisper that in their ear. Well, I think that everybody should have a chance to be an insider, as you'll have it called. And I think that this should be made open to everybody in the public. And one of the things that people should understand is the time to invest in real estate is when the market is bad. Not when the market is good, because when the market is good, the prices are high.
Right.
You invest when the market is bad, when the prices are low. And that's the situation right now. The market is bad, so the prices are low. So what your city should be doing right now is offering its land for public auction.
Okay.
If you offer the land for public auction, you accomplish a couple things. Number one, you bring in money to the city.
Right.
And number two, you put those lands back on the public tax rolls.
Which
makes sense.
Yeah.
And
No wonder nobody's doing it.
of course, it makes too much sense. So if you would do this, let me tell you, we could wipe out our $217 million deficit in one fell swoop. Not only would we wipe out our deficit, we would put those lands back on the tax roll. We would bring in additional income to our city, and we wouldn't need any additional taxes in the future because we'd have additional property on our tax rolls. So this is a way in which we could do two things, and it would make sense. There are other ways in which the city could be raising funds. The city is, unfortunately, has a lack of people that go out and inspect properties. And I'll give you an example. One of the big earners in this city are the people that own these big billboards.
Okay.
Would you believe that a third to a half of those billboards don't pay fees for their billboards?
Really?
Yeah. That they never paid a license fee. Do you know how much they get, and particularly in good locations like in the Loop, a month in rental for those billboards?
I have no idea, actually.
Thousands of dollars per month.
Per billboard?
Per billboard.
Wow.
And they don't even pay a fee to the city. Now, the little guy, if he puts up a sign in front of his store, pays a fee to the city for his little sign in front of his store. But the big billboard company who gets $2,000 a month for his billboard, he escapes without paying any fee to the city.
Sounds to me like it's a very taxable situation.
Why? Why should that be? Why should the big guy get away without paying anything and the little guy has to pay a fee?
Yeah.
Now, that's wrong. So if we had the inspectors out on the street and checking out what billboards are licensed and what billboards aren't licensed, then we could be licensing all the billboards, and frankly, the fees for those billboards should be based on what revenues they produce.
Makes sense.
And then we would have additional revenues coming into the city. And with the number of billboards, just go drive down some of your major streets and start counting billboards, and then you'd have an idea what kind of revenues we could be bringing into the city just on the billboards.
Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It really does. They're talking. I didn't know they'd get thousands, a few $1,000s a month for some of these things.
Now, the little guy, when he puts that sign out that he's paying a fee to the city, also pays a fee to the city for putting the sign out when it goes over the sidewalk. It's called a fee for going over the right-of-way.
Okay.
Not only pays a fee to the city for the sign, he pays a fee for going over the right-of-way. He goes over the sidewalk, so he pays a fee for going over the right-of-way. Yet these big builders build these big buildings, and they put out balconies over the right-of-way, and they don't pay a fee to the city. Why? Because we haven't got inspectors that go out and count the balconies that they're building over the sidewalks.
Oh, wow. Yeah, somebody was telling me something about that there might have been a situation like that in the neighborhood not that long ago.
Yeah, go on to Western Avenue and take a look at those balconies on that building I mentioned on Morris. They're built out right over the sidewalk.
I walked down it Monday, as a matter of fact.
I'm willing to bet you that guy isn't paying a fee for going out over the right-of-way. I'm willing to bet you right now that guy isn't paying a fee for going over the right-of-way.
It doesn't sound good to me. I mean, you shouldn't be building stuff over...
Well, there's something wrong with the system when they can build when the guy, the promoter, the guy who's building over the right of way can get away with it, and the little guy who puts up the little sign over his little store and is making a small amount of money for operating a small little business has to pay $50 a year to the city as an annual fee for going over the right of way. And the builder can put one of these big balconies over the sidewalk and gets away without paying a fee.
Wow!
Now those are simple little things. I mean, it sounds like nothing, but start adding all those little items up, and you'll see what the city is losing in fees in small little things.
And you know what? That's very legitimate. I don't think anybody should have a right to.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with it, but at least let the city collect for what people. If the people are going to have their property, and the air rights are our property,
right?
They belong to us. Let them pay for the right to use the air property.
Because a person
and
could
pay
obviously...
for it on an annual basis. When you build a driveway, you pay an annual fee for the use when you go across the city's land. Let them pay an annual fee for building a balcony over the city's right of way.
That makes sense to me. By the way, with this new camera setup, I do try to look at the camera more. I've been criticized about it. So even though I know I should be looking at you, we're going to try to fix the chairs a little bit. And thanks for the help, Flora. We appreciate that. So, that makes a lot of sense about the air rights. Now, in terms of are there any other proposed real estate developments that are going on right now, or any big changes coming?
You know the Western Avenue site where the old Northtown Theater. That's going to go ahead very shortly.
That'll be good.
And that'll be and there's two little theaters going in there too.
Yeah.
And that's going to go ahead shortly. And I'm still looking to increase our library. I'm really dedicated to building a new library. I see Rose's.
Yeah, we've got
Rose is happy.
By the way, next week or the week after, Rose Powers, the chief librarian at Northtown, will be on the show, and she's part of our audience right now.
That's one of the reasons I said it. I'd like a library about twice the size that we currently had. I've talked to our library commissioner. I've got to extend our tax increment financing district. I got to extend it from Devon up to Arthur, and as soon as I arrange for that, then we can use some of our TIF dollars to acquire additional lands.
Well, that would be good. I would like that a lot. And you know what? I hear that from a lot of people. And we actually have one of the, third or fourth most used libraries in the city?
Last I heard we were third and highest in circulation. And,
okay, we know the numbers change all the time.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that one of these days we're going to have a library at least twice the size of our current library and with a parking lot.
No, that would definitely be nice. And, the parking lot would be real nice because that would make life a lot easier for everybody. I wanted to talk to you a little.
Incidentally,
Sure.
one of the other projects on the books is, in 2016, I'm still hoping that we're going to be the site of the Olympics, and obviously, one of the featured site, even though the Olympics are on the south side, but most of the sites of the Olympics are on the south side, one of the places that the Olympic athletes are going to want to visit is Devon Avenue.
Because that's going to be the connection with their home countries all the way. There's so many
Devon is
nationalities.
the international street of the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
And those athletes are going to want to be coming up here on Devon Avenue. So I'm looking to redevelop Devon Avenue. I'm looking for a streetscape along all of Devon, and I'm looking for a redevelopment. That's one of the reasons we created the special service area, and we're hoping that certainly within the next 4 to 5 years that we're going to redevelop all of Devon, and the special service district will be one of the ways in which we're going to help reconstitute Devon Avenue. There's going to be a lot of work done along Devon Avenue in the light of this movement. So
I see it
look,
a little
look
cleaner
forward.
right now. Yeah,
well, it's not only the cleanliness. It's I want new sidewalks. I want new lighting. I want a lot of other improvements along Devon. You can see that we've already started a movement towards new construction along Devon and a new face to Devon, and that's what we're aiming for.
That sounds good to me. It sounds good. So, okay, I guess that the SSA is a fairly new thing, and hopefully it will improve and do a good job over time.
It's in its first year.
Yeah.
The people who are acting as its trustees are dedicated to certainly to cleanliness, and beyond that to its reconstruction.
Yeah, I just wish I do see some less pigeons. Although being a walker, I actually by the Dunkin' Donuts over by on Western and Rosemont, somebody started smashing Oreos and trail mix into the ground for the pigeons.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I have volunteers cleaning all of the trash cans, and they're actually getting down into the trash cans, cleaning out the trash cans. In addition to which, we've posted new signs along Devon about don't feed the pigeons. And,
that I've seen, and that's good.
And clean up the litter. And we've done a lot of work along Devon. We're going to continue to post those signs. And of course, the real answer is the people have to pitch in too. And we've got the cooperation of the trustees of the SSA, and that's the answer.
Now, there were just meetings not that long ago for this new, I know this is a park district, not you specifically, but for that over by Warren Park. That's for a senior center?
The senior center the construction will start this fall, and that'll be ready by the fall of next year. And that'll be an amazing center for seniors with machines that are really tailored to seniors, senior activities. The whole senior activity center is tailored to seniors. Being the ward that has the largest senior population, we will make good use of that senior activity center.
Now, one of the funniest things I heard, I wasn't at the meeting, and frankly, I didn't really want to go, to be honest. I do go to a lot of meetings, but I can't go to everyone, and I don't get paid for this. So, but one of the funniest things to me was that somebody was telling me there was a suggestion to save room to put the senior center on the second floor over the field house, and the idea of putting a senior center on a second floor, making people climb stairs or take elevators, to me, I almost laughed my head off. I couldn't believe that. People have some very interesting ideas.
Well,
I could never handle what you'd handle with people.
The total square footage of the senior center is 7,000 square feet.
That's not gigantic.
No, it's very small, as a matter of fact. There it is. I told you those
We've
lights
had
were
lighting
going off.
problems, Sonny. You can kick that if you want, or whatever you do. We're just
See, just a suggestion made it go on.
Oh, great! Yeah, it came back on by magic.
Sonny uses mind control. But in any event, that project is proceeding, and that'll be ready in the I believe the summer or fall of next year.
Okay, Lincoln Village parking lot, because we are running out of time, so we got to brush this over quick. Anything going on there at all, or?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, you were going to did anything happen with zoning?
Zoning was introduced on July 19th to rezone. Use your mind, Sonny. Zoning was introduced at the July 19th meeting, and the hearing will probably be in September.
And in terms of the proposed senior center on Kedzie, I guess that is, or something like that, or has that been proposed officially?
I don't know. That will be coming before the Plan Commission. There'll be a whole new proposal. You're talking about Regent Park?
That new area.
That'll come before a Plan Commission meeting.
Okay, are there public hearings on something like that?
Oh, yes, that'll be a public hearing before the Plan Commission.
I knew there would be, but you know what? I hear some very silly things from some very silly people, so I had to mention that.
No comment by the general public is silly. And
I understand that, but no, people think it'll get snuck through without a public meeting.
There's always a public meeting.
That's the point I was trying to make. Not that exactly, because you know what? Because you do things a lot more openly than people have any idea.
Well,
you always have too.
People would complain, and people say there aren't any public meetings, but there are always public meetings, and if people attend, they attend. If they don't attend, I can't help that.
Yeah, with the school, people, all this stuff has been around for years in terms of, it was in the 90s, late 90s that we were talking about the Commonwealth Edison property and the school and all the rest of it. And if people start paying attention 8 years late, or with the parking garage too, we also discussed that in the 90s. And people start all of a sudden waking up and, well, when did this start?
There's also a change in population too. Well,
that's true.
But in any event, time marches on, and times change, and people change, and we proceed. Some of us that have been here a long time, we appreciate, and we move along, and we just have to be understanding. That's all.
No, it's true. But the thing is, you have to plan certain things in advance. Real quick, because we're very close to out of time. I think we're guessing here. Community planning board thing. Anything? Now, you know what? We don't have enough time to really go into that. But the more I thought about that issue, I just want to tell you. I mean, that's you talk to people, and you can't have everybody plan. That's sort of like chaos. You've got to have some kind of central plan with community input. The more I've thought about that, the more I didn't understand. And I was meant to have argued with some of the people in that organization on that subject.
I have open hours where I meet with the general public on Mondays and Thursday evenings every week, and
6199 North Lincoln.
That's the community planning board. I meet with the community.
And you see everybody that shows up.
Yeah, and
always have.
And
two nights a week is better than almost any other alderman.
I listen to people. I try to take everybody's opinion and listen to people. I work with people, and we have an open door policy, and it's my job. It's what I was elected to do. It's my job to make a decision.
And by the way, it's my job to really say we're out of time.
And like Harry Truman says, the buck stops here.
That sounds good. Thank you so much, Alderman Bernard Stone. Thank you, Sonny Hersh, for the new lights, which hopefully will keep kicking in. Thank you, everybody. ntnm.org, caps24.org. Bye-bye.
Bye.